Today's Observer Dispatch has a story about and this is, I do kind of wonder, the Wild Wings. Thank you, sir. Is it Wild Wings?
Buffalo
Wild Wings. Is that the name of the place?
Yeah. Yes.
So that was supposed to be opening I remember that was going to open a long time ago in Sangertown, and then it went away. Then, a long time ago, like a year and a half ago,
right,
it was going to be opening in the old Sears location. And then it didn't open, and then there was another story that came back that said it's coming, it's going to be here soon, the Buffalo Wild Wings. And the story today just basically says the whole thing is stalled.
Yeah,
Hold on.
Yeah,
Switched mics on you. I had thought it was going to go not only in the Sears, but also they were talking about that old Circuit City location
That
as
was
well.
that was the original
Yep.
location. Probably 5 years ago, there was going to be one that was going to go in there.
But then
That's the outbuilding that's still there. Over on the...
it's the mall, but it's not the mall. It's over by, in between
it's in the parking
Target
lot.
and,
yeah.
And so then I believe, well, it must have been that Boscov's, which is a new department store opening this fall, maybe gave them a better price on the location, the Sears location. And maybe
is that what's going in the Sears location?
That's what's going in the Sears location.
But don't they have a whole
now.
restaurant section that's supposed to be happening there?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, listen, if
We've got a lot of other stuff going up there around there.
If someone would know, it's Jim Piccola, because he has to, right? Don't they come to you, Jim, and say, okay, we're going to have some traffic increases here. We're putting a new store in Sangertown.
Well, if they were going to be putting a new building along, say, a state highway,
You'd know then.
We'd know then.
Yeah.
But because it's in the actual mall, it wouldn't be an issue
That's
for us.
so
right
foolish, I would think, to not consult you. I would think they should consult you. In my opinion of all of that is, if I could just say, there are many local restaurants that are locally owned, and the last thing we need, although there are a couple new chains going up in New Hartford right now, the last thing we need is another chain restaurant. That's my belief. Plenty of great family-owned local restaurants around here. Okay, so we do need a new arterial, and it's moving along pretty well.
Yes, it is.
Jim Piccola from DOT in to give us an update. So we have a new detour we're talking about.
Well, we have to pour the new bridge over at Oriskany Street, and there's two pours in the same day. One is going to take place starting Tuesday night at 8 p.m., and then we have to switch to the south side. And because of that, we're going to have to shut down Northbound, 5812 Northbound, between Burstone Road and Court Street.
Well, that's a big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So all of 12 traffic then will have to be, all northbound 12 traffic will have to be diverted. Where do they end up going in this?
Well, we do have what we call a detour E, which will take them onto Burstone Road, over to Champlain Ave, down to Oriskany Street, and then back onto Route 12.
Okay. All right. So this is only for 2 days this will be happening?
This will be from 8 p.m. at night, or we're going to implement it at 9 p.m. at night.
Okay.
And hopefully have it open by 6 a.m. in the morning.
So you're trying to divert to avoid the morning traffic.
Yep, the morning peak and the evening peak, absolutely.
Talk about how significant, though, this pour is really important, obviously.
Yes, it's just the next step into getting the bridge done, phase 2 of the Oriskany Street Bridge. So once that's done, though, we don't see any issues having to, shut down mainline northbound again in the future.
All right. Now, what does this do in terms of the timeline? How long before you're pouring the concrete? How long before that bridge will be fully operational with its 4 lanes? Right, 2 on one side. 2 would be southbound, 2 would be northbound.
That's correct. The 2 southbound are already in place. This is phase 2. We'll get the 2 northbound lanes poured. There's actually 3 pours associated with it. We have this pour that's coming up, then we have a center pour, and then we have what they call a closure pour, which will tie the 2 phases together.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
What is the timeline on those?
I bet you we'd have that done by the middle of September.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Now, after that happens... it's the long-awaited from Oriskany Boulevard, that ramp from Oriskany Boulevard to go south onto 12. How are we looking there?
Well, we'll have it late this fall.
It will be late
this fall.
Absolutely.
It's coming. I'm so excited. That is probably the biggest maybe it's just I'm from the Valley. So whenever you have to go from New Hartford, I'm always coming from that direction. So maybe that's what what it is. But I will tell you, I've had some great detours through areas of Utica that I normally wouldn't drive, and that's nice. But so the end is coming, and the end is near on that. So you would say October, November, somewhere in that vicinity?
More closer to November. End of November.
All right.
Yep.
Well, that'll be a big one.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else we should know? This is moving along. I mean, we're getting close. By next year, this will all be done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main lines will all be tied in.
Can I ask about the work that's being done over by Stewart's there?
Yes.
What road is that?
It's Court and State Street.
Court and State. Okay, so they're laying new foundation in there? What is going on there?
Basically what we do, there's 2 phases there too, and that's one of the other things I was going to talk about. We're completing phase 1 right now, new concrete pavement through there. We got the south side of State Street shut off right now. We're hoping by the end of this week or early next week to actually open that side and flip everybody over, and then we'll end up taking the north side, shutting the north side of that down, and putting all the new pavement in and putting up the new signals there.
Was that part of this project, or that just needed to be done as part of a routine?
That's part of this project.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And I did have a budget rental truck, a big one. It was a 24-footer, and I might have run over a couple of your cones. I apologize for that. My wife took me down the wrong route. Why she would get me off on Court Street?
Blame her.
It was totally her fault. We could have continued over the bridge and then taken my normal exit. I could have gotten off easily onto Oriskany Boulevard.
Absolutely.
Instead, she thought it would be easier for us to go on Court, where there was construction in the single lanes. I tried to take the corner. It's not easy with one of those trucks.
No, we have a few barrels with your name on it.
Yeah. I'll be paying for that. All right, Jim Piccola, good stuff. When is the projected date? If you could say when this is all said and done and you're moving on to your next project.
July 31st of 2017.
Okay, so that's not all that far away, less than a year away.
Less than a year away.
Hard to believe.
And overall, it was what, 3 years to do this?
3 years.
3 years,
Yep.
wow.
We had the demolition contract first, then contract 1, and then this contract.
Hard to believe
I know.
the demolition. It seems like it was so long ago when it really wasn't, and we're coming to the end of this whole thing. All right, and then you'll be starting on, that'll be the Oriskany Boulevard.
Yep.
There's work going to be done over there. So
Yes.
And by then you'll know what's going on with the hospital, and that could change things a little bit, do you think?
Depending on where, if the hospital does come down, we'll definitely look at
All right.
their plans and go from there.
Okay, let's see. Is the arterial? Somebody's asking a question. Are you ready? Is arterial project still on budget at $65 million? And what is going on with the pedestrian bridge?
Yep, we're still on budget, and the pedestrian bridge, the enhancements are being done right now. The actual bridge has been open for a while.
Yeah,
and
I saw.
we're just putting up the fencing.
I saw a whole group
and
of people
cleaning it up.
crossing it just the other day. So
Yeah.
it's being used. And then someone else wants to know: are you a fan of Buffalo Wild Wings? And do you think Macy's is going to close in New Hartford?
Oh, geez, I hope Macy's doesn't close.
Macy's announcing on Friday that they're closing
15% of their stores.
50% of their stores.
15.
15.
1.5.
And it's because of online. They're trying to take a stronger approach at online, and you would hope that the one in New Hartford doesn't close, right? So
I'm sorry, I've got one more thing. And
there's more.
The call about the pedestrian bridge, or the text about it, reminded me of this. There was a fatal accident on the arterial, I believe last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Where a pedestrian was hit. Was that wasn't in the area of that bridge, was it? Or
It was just south of the bridge at Noy Street intersection with the arterial.
is that an intersection where people should be crossing, or should they go to the bridge? Is it too far down? I guess.
No,
that would be a place where you cross, right?
Yeah, that's a place where you cross. Before we started the project, we upgraded the signals at both Noyes and Oswego Street. Mm-hmm. Again, I can't say too much because it's still under investigation.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
feel terrible what's gone on there. And so hopefully, again, if people, when they do get there, use the pedestrian crossing buttons, pay attention to the lights, and hopefully you can get to the other side safely.
Right.
Yeah. And Jim actually had a question for our Olympian reporter, Jeff Manaski. He was
the expert.
Oh, I'm an-
Manaski, the
You're
expert.
I'm an
the Olympian
Olympian
expert.
reporter.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, he can go back to actually the first Olympics. He goes way back. Any question you have, he can answer.
I was watching the
You have a
women's.
question.
Yeah.
I was watching the women's volleyball, indoor volleyball, China USA, and looked like China was doing pretty good, but I didn't get to see it because our power went off.
Oh, right. What a storm this weekend. It hit really,
Let me see.
really pretty hard. All right. So, do you have the answer?
don't
As,
have
as
that
he's
in front of
looking
me.
that up,
He
though,
doesn't have the
speaking of
answer.
the storm,
Yeah.
I came home. It was my nephew's first birthday party. We were out in Middleburg, New York, which is about an hour 45 minutes away. We came in to get gas at the Citgo in Washington Mills, and the guy that was pumping the gas got 3 cents into my tank before a lightning bolt struck and took out a transformer next to the gas station, and I saw the sparks fly, and
Wow.
the gas station just lost power.
So you couldn't get gas.
No.
That
no.
was quite a storm.
Yeah.
By the way, I heard from someone here. Speaking of the storm, lightning hit the steeple of our church, St. Joseph, St. Patrick, in the evening, which blasted bricks off the building onto Lafayette Street. And across the street onto Varick, it also shorted out the organ. And on Sunday morning at St. Joseph, St. Patrick, there was no organ because of that storm. It was a doozy of a storm.
Wow.
We'll break, but before we do, Manaski very excited to present the information
Yes.
requested by the DOT.
The U.S. women's team defeated China, and
Wow.
they concluded their pool play undefeated.
Awesome.
Well, there you go. Jim Piccola, thanks.
Thank you guys very much for having me.